CEO, 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 CEO. If you didn't watch AEW this past Wednesday, you probably have no idea what the hell that just was, but apparently that is Mercedes Moné's new thing. Hey everybody, hello my friends, I am Travis and welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I thank you for checking this out. Real quick before we get into anything, I just want to announce that we have hit 1,000 subscribers, and I could not be any more happier. I could not be any more thankful or grateful. This is all because of you and your support, and I appreciate that more than I could even ever express into any kind of words ever that exist. That's amazing for me. I know there's channels out there that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but the fact that I now have 1,000, especially when I was saying that I wanted to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, and here we are in mid to late March, and we got 1,000 subscribers now. Let's keep this thing going. Let's get this growing even more. Let's get to 1,500 by like August or something. That'd be amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. I want to put out more videos. It motivates me to put out more and more content. And I'm glad you're here watching. I really enjoy talking to all of you. But now let's get into what happened on Wednesday night on Dynamite. Kicking off the show, they gave us no time to wait. They kicked it off right away with Mercedes Moné. She came out. She looked like $1 million, or maybe 10 million according to some people. Let's touch on that right away. There's been some reports that Mercedes Moné is making like 10 million a year from AEW. I don't think that's true at all. I've seen reports refuting that. I've seen reports saying that that's false, and people are still putting it on social media that she's making 10 million a year. Listen. If anybody is paying Mercedes Moné $10 million a year, you're nuts. I don't care how much money you have. Tony Khan could be a zillionaire. If he's paying her $10 million a year, he's crazy. And I do think one of the reasons why she chose AEW over WWE, I could be wrong, but some of things that I've read and really digging deep, listening to some of her interviews, the context that I get from the whole thing, one of the reasons why I think she signed, I'm just saying one, by the way, one of the reasons why I think she signed with AEW instead of WWE is because of the money aspect of it. I think she wanted more money from WWE, and they weren't willing to give it to her. But of course, AEW, who will overpay, we've seen that with Okada. I mean, they're paying Okada a lot of money a year. I'm not saying it's not deserved. I'm not saying he shouldn't make a lot of money a year, but it is quite a bit of money, and it's a lot of money where I think that WWE wouldn't have paid him. And I think this is a similar situation here with Mercedes Moné. I think she's making more in AEW than what she was going to make in WWE. Whatever that amount is, I do not think it's $10 million a year. I think that's just an absurd amount of money and a crazy assumption on whoever started that whole thing. I don't think she's making that. She's probably making a lot. You know, if I were to guess, maybe like 2 million, maybe 2.5 or something a year, which is a lot of money for a wrestler or athlete. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of athletes and wrestlers who don't make that. So, especially wrestlers don't make that. And maybe WWE was only willing to give her like $1 million or 1.5 or something. I'm just throwing these numbers out there. Like, I have no idea whatsoever. I just don't think it's even close to being $10 million. But regardless, Mercedes Moné is making what she is making. I don't know what it is. I think it is probably more than what WWE was willing to give her. And, honestly, when it comes to Okada, I feel like the same thing. I feel like WWE would be kind of crazy to pay him 4.5 or whatever the heck he's making in AEW. And we all know how WWE handles Japanese superstars. It is what it is with them. You know, I'm not saying Okada is not a superstar. That dude is massive, and he's got a huge following, a huge support system. He's a phenomenal in-ring performer, but it's just the way WWE handles it. I wanted him to go to WWE, but I could see how maybe he would think maybe he should go to AEW instead. Because, he's got more of his friends in AEW, and plus they're going to give him more money. He's got the freedom. I mean, there's a bunch of benefits to going to AEW. Going to WWE, he's got to look at, prime example, what I would look at if I was Okada, if I was going to go to WWE, is Shinsuke Nakamura, how they've handled him. Granted, Nakamura had a run, right? Like, he's done well, but, I don't think Nakamura hasn't become or didn't become what he could have been in WWE. I mean, Nakamura is like a legend in Japan, and WWE, I mean, he had his spurts where he was on fire and they booked him well, and his feud with AJ, all that kind of stuff, but it was never consistent enough. And they have done a slightly better job with him recently with Triple H in the backstage vignettes and promos, like in Japanese and with the subtitles for everybody, which I love, by the way. And I wish WWE would do more of that. And if they did do more of that, maybe they would be able to sign more international or foreign superstars. It'd make it easier. I don't like how I get it. WWE, it's the biggest wrestling company in the U.S. in the world. I can understand why they would want English to be like the primary language, or maybe even Spanish as a secondary. And then when you start leaking into Japanese and everything, it's harder for them, I think, to book superstars and for crowds who are most likely of Spanish and American, English, backgrounds. It's going to be hard for them to understand Japanese wrestlers. I get that part of it, but that doesn't mean you should exclude that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't sign those superstars, those wrestlers. There's ways to work around it. And when they make video packages or promos or vignettes with a foreign superstar, like even Andrade, who's Spanish or Latin, I mean, they put, there was a vignette or two where they put subtitles on there. Why not do that? That's perfectly fine. Like, yeah, he's not going to have a promo battle in the ring with somebody speaking or English, but there's ways to build wrestlers and superstars even if they don't speak English. There's plenty of ways to do it. And that's just one of them. That's like the best way to do it. Why not just do it? Anyway, Okada went to AEW. We didn't cover that before, but we all kind of assumed he was going there. And now Mercedes Mone has showed up to AEW, something we all anticipated. I mean, they marketed the hell out of it without basically telling us that she's there, but they kind of already did. They kind of like just put it all over, slapped it in our face, and we all were just like, all right, well, she'll be there. And she was. And it was great. She had a good night, She came off looking like a huge star, which she is. And, she'll... it looks like she's going to be in a feud right away with Julia Hart. And I guess Willow is kind of in there too. I wanted a big feud for her right away. Well, I remember in another video I said I don't want her going for a title right away. I kind of still stand by that, but maybe you're trying to strike while it's hot right now. She just came in. It's a big deal. I didn't want her winning a title away from Toni Storm because Toni is doing phenomenal work. And I didn't really want her winning a title from Julia Hart because Julia has been doing the best work of her career. And I feel like if you make Mercedes come in and defeat one of them, you're all of a sudden taking away all the steam from Toni or Julia. But I guess if I had to sacrifice one of the two, I prefer Mercedes. I keep pausing because I want to call her Sasha. I can see Mercedes dethroning Julia Hart. Unless they plan like a big swerve, which I don't know if they'll do right off the bat with Mercedes because she's just fresh in the company. But, where maybe Willow turns and, helps Julia and Sky Blue make sure Julia keep the title. I don't know. They could figure or work something out. I kind of wanted to see Mercedes right away feud with like maybe Ruby Soho or like Saraya or something, just to get her in there and going and then go for a title shortly later. I would have liked to see her feud with Brit Baker right away, but where the hell is Brit Baker? Is she hurt? I don't think she's hurt anymore. Where the hell is she? Why is she not on AEW TV? That was like their face of their women's division and one of the pillars, right? For so long, where the hell is she? All I see is on her social media, her posting like pictures and videos of her at concerts and football games and like, dude, you look fine. Where are you? I don't know if it's because Toni doesn't have anything for her to do. She's like tweeting stuff out on X. I mean, what's the deal with Brit Baker? Can we get her back on TV? Tell me Brit Baker and Mercedes Mone wouldn't sell tickets. Tell me. You'd be lying. That's a great matchup. People would want to watch that. I would love to see that. I don't know why they aren't doing it, and I don't know where Brit is, but Brit, I hope you come back soon, because I think we all would like to see you. I know I would. Regardless, AEW is in a very good position right now. I think they're finally starting to get a little bit of momentum each week. Like they're getting it. Even with MJF out, you got to know when MJF comes back, it's going to be even more on fire. Will Ospreay, huge signing for them. They have now Will Ospreay, who's probably going to be their top babyface of the company, it looks like. They got Ospreay, they got Okada. He could be one of the top heels, and he's paired up with two of the top heels right now, the Young Bucks. You got Omega, who's eventually going to come back, hopefully. And it looks like he'll be a babyface with the way things have been lately. MJF when he comes back, Adam Cole when he finally heals up. I mean, Samoa Joe, Swerve, Hangman, they got something going there. They have something brewing, right? Like, they finally have some momentum, I feel like. It was a big loss losing Jade. It was a big loss losing CM Punk. And now you can turn the page and book it a little better. And they're starting to. And I appreciate that. You know, there's still a lot of problems I have with AEW, but there's shows where they have really good shows that go smoothly and they run effortlessly. And I appreciate those episodes, and I love those episodes, but they do have a clunker here and there, and it really, really, really hits. You can tell when it's a clunker. It really, really, really hits. All that to say, AEW right now is looking pretty good. Mercedes Mone being there, I'm probably going to check it out next week too, because I kind of want to see where we go. I want to see how good she does and how they book her. And, you know, she cut that promo. It looks like she's going to be a face for now. I mean, of course, why not, right? Like, she's got a great reception in Boston. We're going to see, though, how long that reception lasts, because AEW has a track record, and you can fight me on this if you want, but I'm not telling a lie here. Every time they bring someone in, 9 times out of 10 they bring someone in. I won't even say every time. 9 times out of 10 they bring someone in, either from WWE or from a different company that has all of this buzz, that gets a huge pop initially. It eventually fizzles out, or they end up getting lost in the shuffle, or left off TV, or wrestling on Rampage, or randomly on Collision in a random match that no one gives a hell about. Like, it's just... we got to do something differently here. This is one of the qualms I have with AEW. We got to start booking people a little differently here, especially your top stars. Like Mercedes Moné, she's going to be the face of your division. Whatever you're paying her, right? Everybody wants to talk about how much she's making. Whatever you're paying her, she is going to be one of the top stars of your company. So you got to book her right, or else you're going to end up with another Jade situation. I'm just saying. That's all for this video. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed this kind of content. If you're somebody new to this channel and you've never seen it before and you do love wrestling content, I ask that you please consider giving this channel a sub. Please consider giving it a like. It does a lot for this channel. Every time somebody likes and comments on one of these videos and subscribes and shares, it gets pushed out into other people's timelines or main pages of YouTube, which helps them find this channel when they probably wouldn't have before. It does me wonders. Trust me. You know, it's effortlessly. It's effortless. It doesn't cost you any money, and it barely takes any of your time. 1 second, 2 second tops, just to hit a like and a sub and maybe leave a cool comment. I also answer emails. I haven't done an email video in a while because I haven't really gotten too much of them, but I would love to do more emails again. Everybody, just if you want to send emails in about WWE's product or AEW's product, or an idea you have, or a theory, or anything, and I'll make a video answering some emails too. Anyway, I appreciate everybody who has stuck with this channel this whole time, everybody who's subscribed, everybody who has supported this channel. Please know that I deeply appreciate you, and I cannot express that enough. I really do. This is all I ever wanted when I was making a YouTube channel, is to put out wrestling content or sports content and have that interaction and engagement with people who watch and follow the same stuff that I watch and follow, like the people who have the passion that I do for this stuff. I've been watching since I was 7 years old. I love this. This is all I ever want to talk about. And it's so much fun to talk about wrestling, but it's even more fun, and I don't even know if I've used that right, it's even better to talk about wrestling when you have other people to talk about it with. Everybody has different ideas and opinions, and I love that. That's what's fun about wrestling. You all enjoy the week. Enjoy the weekend, I should say, actually. We're on the weekend now. Yeah, I got some family in town. I'm spending some time with them, so I might be a little quiet over the weekend. But next week, we're back at it again, baby. We're going to have more videos, more posts, more engagements. I can't wait to talk to you guys until then. I hope you all have a great weekend. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, I ask that you please do. And if you have already, you're the freaking best. I love you. I'll talk to you guys next week. Until then, stay bitter.